Hello and welcome back to yet another video. Now this one I'm going to be going over a few topics, and I don't normally do these sorts of videos because there's a lot of great YouTubers out there for Warframe that cover all these contents like the upcoming events, what's been said, who's doing what. It's almost like a soap opera within Warframe itself, so I leave that to my betters to cover it. However, this one, it's got my attention a little too often and I kind of feel like I should actually say something, despite the fact that I'm probably not the most known voice going, but I want to say something anyway. And just as a bit of a disclaimer, everything that I'm about to say is really just my own opinion. I'm sure there's others that possibly could feel similar or have noticed things, but it's not necessarily going to be me speaking for everyone. I just wanted to basically voice my opinion. And I'm going to start with the relays at the moment. There is currently, I'm not sure if it's actually ended yet, but there was currently a event to rebuild the relays, and despite so many people saying that they would like it to be a resource dump, I mean, I myself am sat on a stupid, and I do mean a stupid amount of cryotic. But that's just personally, that's me. I know there's a lot of other people out there that have a stupid amount, but we wanted it to be a resource dump. This seemed to be a general consensus for a lot of people within the Warframe community. Resource dump. We didn't get the resource dump, and if anything, the event was dull, boring and stupid. But who am I to actually criticise? I don't make games. I just stand here and moan about them. But the main thing that's actually got my attention is really what I'm actually showing here. This is the honoured Grand Masters registry, I suppose you could say. This is every single Grandmaster that spent upwards of like $200 to near enough kickstart Warframe. Without these people, it is pretty good to say, pretty safe to say, that Warframe would not be the game that we have today. And I've heard a few people say that without the founders, DE would have gone broke and the game just wouldn't exist at all. So this is all those people effectively that you can kind of thank for having the game started. These people are noted in pretty much every relay, and it didn't used to be in every relay. It used to be that on every planet, on every node, you would like highlight the node and it would come up with the names of the people that were a founder. Like basically each founder got given a node or something. I'm not a founder myself, I don't actually know, I've just had to look this sort of things up, but due to technical difficulties from what I've heard of the people I've spoken to, this got removed. As well as it used to be on every founder's profile, it used to say, I don't know, Bob Marley, Saturn, and then a distinct node of on Saturn. So every node was associated with a founder and every founder was associated with a node. But this changed, and now we have this most convoluted way of finding out who these founders are and the people that we effectively now have to thank for the game in its current state. So why is it that in the new Strata relay, the one that we didn't get to dump all of our resources into, doesn't have this founders registry? Seems curious. Now I, for one, like I said, I'm not a founder, so it really in a way doesn't actually affect me, and I'm not really too bothered either way. I just think it would be a nice thing, because personally, I mean, I'm not in the US, but where I live, if you pay for a product, regardless of the price, 200 seems a bit much, but still, if you pay for a product and that product promises a service such as you're naming gold shiny lights somewhere, then by fuck I want my naming shiny lights somewhere, or I want a refund. I want all my money back. As far as I can see, the Strata relay is kind of breaking the deal at the moment, at least anyway. I'm not sure if anyone else has complained about this, but the Strata relay is, for me, if I was a founder, I'd be moaning somewhere. I'd be straight on those forums, because I've paid money for that. I've paid money for a service. Why am I not getting my name somewhere then? If I've paid upwards of $200 to get XYZ, why am I not getting Y and Z? Why am I just getting the X? I need more than this. Now, this kind of leads me to the next topic, because from what I can gather, some of the founders, I believe it was a tier system, depending on what tier you bought, you got introduced or you were added to the Design Council program, and these were meant to be special players that helped shape the game as we know it. Augments, Warframe ability ideas, names. Basically, if DE needed some serious actual community input on something, they went to the Design Council first. Now, the Design I've tried finding these people, and I know like a few of them, but they're very secretive. It's almost like a Illuminati thing. Basically, I don't think there's so much Illuminati, I just think there's like somewhere in a clause that says they can't discuss Design Council things outside of Design Council, so it makes sense that I'm not privy to that information. But it does seem that they would have an active role, or did, being the operative word here is did, have an active role in a lot of the Warframe content. But as of late, I'm going to guess that has slipped, because we've got things like Vauban in his current form. There's been a few questionable augments thrown out as well. Now, my understanding is if you're Design Council, that means you've played Warframe from the start, so you should have a good in-depth knowledge of the mechanics and stylings of the game. And at the moment, some of the things being thrown out, such as Vauban's rework, I'm going to guess are people that have played Warframe less than 3 months and are probably 12 years old and don't understand the mechanics of the game. So that's like a questionable thing, really. Again, that's my own opinion. It might just be the fact that I'm being an elitist arsehole, or it could be the fact that Design Council of what it was or once was is no more. So if you actually are in Design Council, I wouldn't mind a little commenting below. Just, am I getting close? Or that'd be a nice, if you can at least. But it really does seem quite odd, especially since I've saw a forum post on the Warframe forums, obviously, that of Nyx's rework. I would have thought that this would have gone straight to Design Council. This should be a Design Council thing, surely, but no, it's been outsourced to the entire community. And don't get me wrong, there are probably a few really, really good ideas in that post, but then some of them are going to be people that have played for 3 days, only just got Nyx, don't understand her at all, and they're going to go, oh, she's shit, change everything. Now, I actually quite like Nyx in her current state. I do think she needs a bit of a buff, a few tweaks, but I wouldn't say an entire rework. As long as they keep Psychic Bolts, I'll be quite happy. I do like that ability. The mechanics of it are really good. I like it, of how it works. I do think it's underwhelming though, so I feel that ability definitely needs a buff. Mind Control and Chaos, just meld them into one, please. I don't want an ability that just does one target when I can press another ability that does the room. Yeah, silly. And now that we've got Revenant, we can do Mind Control to 7 targets. But Revenant doesn't need a rework. Revenant needs a rework. Why was he released in that state? There have been so many things lately. I'm using Corinth here as a bit of a because Corinth was one of the first ones for me that highlighted this entire situation. We were promised Corinth would be able to cycle through different ammunition types, slash, puncture, impact, blast, blah 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 blah. All we got was boom and bigger boom. This is not what was promised. Who did this? I'm slowly moving away from Warframe. I love this game, I really do, but I kind of feel that DE is becoming more DEA, and a lot of the community of what DE is asking are non-helpful. But I mean, I could go further into it, but I don't want to say too much just in case I rile up too much of a storm. So I'm going to kind of leave this here, hopefully, and I want to get a bit of feedback and maybe get some, I don't know, discussions going. Am I just being an asshole, or are other people noticing things slipping up? What do people think about the founders relay thing? personally I do kind of feel that they should have their names somewhere and not in some convoluted registry hidden somewhere. Kind of feel like DE need to like up it a little bit. They've built up this massive pedestal that we've all put them on, and I don't feel they're living up to the hype at the moment. But anyway, like I said, I'll leave it here. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys pretty damn soon. Ta-ra!